Hopefully we're getting there. Okay, guys. Hi. I'm here with Carrie Ann. And my most popular question from everybody is, what do I pack? What do I bring? And I brought Carrie Ann because she's much more organized at this than I am. And I always seem to overpack. So Carrie Ann is an experienced traveler, and she is really prepared to share with us today what we bring. And I have been summer and winter, and you almost bring the same thing for most trips. But I am going to let Carrie Ann come on in just a second here. And of course, we're talking about riding Iceland. You're on the bucket list group. We're talking about riding Iceland and what you're going to bring for your horseback riding trips and to be prepared and to not overpack. So Carrie Ann has been on several tours with us. She is one of my addicted riders who keeps coming back to Iceland over and over again. And so here's Carrie Ann, and I'm going to let her just discuss with you guys all about her packing.
Thanks, Lisa. Hi, everybody. Excited to be here and share with you some of my hints and tips for packing. So I'm going to focus mainly on what you need to pack for riding and, trying to keep it as light as possible and trying to keep it to the bare minimum of what you're going to need and still feel prepared for the trip. So
Carrie Ann, if you can talk just a little bit louder.
Sure. So I'm going to try to keep packing to a minimum while still having you feel like you're prepared for your trip from a riding perspective. Lisa has shared in previous sessions what the weather is like in the summertime for the tours. It usually goes down into the 40s or 50s at night, and then it's 50s and 60s during the day. Only once or twice have I ever experienced it go up into the low 70s, but mostly it's 50s and 60s, which is extremely comfortable riding weather, both for the riders and the horses. So I'm going to start from the top of my head and kind of work my way down and work sort of from the inside out. So I don't have my riding helmet here with me today, and you don't have to bring one if you don't want to. My first tour, I did not. Subsequent tours I have a tiny little head, even though I'm 5'10". So I wanted to bring my own helmet. I don't have it today, but you can either bring your own helmet or you can use one that Saltvik has. But Lisa and I and the rest of the folks usually wear a couple of buffs, and it looks like this. It's a tube in the middle here. It's fabric. And we usually wear two. We put one over our head and we bring it up, and you can cover your hair. It keeps your hair back out of your face. It covers your ears, but it's very lightweight. You can still fit your helmet over it. And then we usually take the second buff, and these buffs you can buy on Amazon in multi-packs, up to 10, and they're really cheap. Following this session, we'll post some links to some of this stuff so that you guys know where to find it. But you put the second one on over top, keeps your neck warm. You can tuck it down into your sweater or your base layers. And then if it's a little dusty or it's a little chilly, you can pull it up and you can just have your eyes out. I wear glasses, so I bring my glasses. I wear prescription glasses, so I bring my glasses, and then put your helmet over top. And that's pretty much all you really need from a head perspective. I talked about base layers. I like to wear layers. It's really important. The weather can change quickly in Iceland. It can start out cooler in the morning, get warmer in the afternoon. Obviously, as you start riding and moving faster, you're getting a little warm. And so you can peel the layers off and be comfortable throughout the entire ride. Lisa and I know we both really like these cuddle duds. So they're a lighter weight base layer. I've got pants, and even, for me, I can get them tall enough. And then the shirt. And I found these most recently at Kohl's, and they're marketed cuddle duds under scrubs. So I think people are using them to put under their scrubs, nurses. So I usually bring at least 2 sets of those. You can wear them under your riding attire, but they can double up as pajamas as well. Underwear, I usually bring like maybe 6 pairs of underwear. I personally like cotton because they breathe, but that's totally up to you, whatever you're most comfortable in. You just want to make sure that you're not going to have to worry about any kind of rubbing, but you're all riders, so you know that. Socks. I like wool socks. I wear them all year long. I live in Pennsylvania, and even in the summertime here, when it gets quite hot up into the, high 90s, I still wear wool socks because they breathe really well. Your feet don't sweat in them. They whip the moisture away, and I find them really comfortable. From the perspective of the next layer, I have my riding pants here, which are soft shell, and these happen to be lined with a little bit of fleece, but because they're soft shell, they're waterproof. They're really comfortable. I know Lisa has Icelandic ones. I don't yet. I'm hoping to get a pair this year, but you don't need Icelandic pants at all. It just would be nice if you had the soft shell because they're waterproof. If you don't have waterproof pants, grab yourself a can of Scotchgard. This is a great product for everything. Okay, so you want to make sure everything you're taking to Iceland is washed thoroughly and disinfected. You can use Lysol for anything that can't be washed, but anything that can be washed, wash it at a high temperature with your regular laundry detergent. And to make sure that you're going to maintain the waterproof, you can use this Scotchgard to re-waterproof everything. So I'll even spray my pants. I don't typically spray my socks, but you can. I spray my gloves. I spray my boots. I spray my jacket. I've even used this for horse blankets to re-waterproof after washing them. So this is great. A can this size will last a long time. I've had this for a couple of years now. And so again, your base layers, your riding pants, and then on top, you can wear fleece. You can wear a sweater. I really like this sweater is merino wool. So it's lightweight. I don't know if you can see. It's very, very lightweight. It's thin, but it's warm. Again, I like the merino wool. It's not itchy. It wicks away sweat. It keeps you warm. It doesn't let you get overheated. I also like to bring one vest with me. And I tend to stick to just like a couple colors because everything goes together, right? So this vest is great. It keeps your core warm. It still keeps your arms open. You can wear this just with a sweater, or you can wear it underneath your jacket, which I'll show you in a minute. I also bring one of my Icelandic wool sweaters. I think most of us who've ridden at least one tour have them. And so this is nice and thick. I can wear it just by itself with my base layers underneath, or I can put my jacket over top, but it's extremely warm, but it also breathes because it's wool. This is a little itchier but you're going to have base layers on, so you won't feel it. And I've got really sensitive skin, so I think you'll be fine with it. I like to bring a couple of just plain tanks, again, for layering, or you can wear them for sleeping in. A good sports bra is really important. I happen to be a little big on top, so it's really important for me to have a sports bra, but you really don't need more than like 2. You can just alternate them, and if you want to wash them in the sink in between, you can. Let's see. We talked about socks. My boots. I like short boots, whatever your preference is. If you like long boots, that's fine. I always wear them on the plane. That way they're not taking up room in my luggage. These are Ariat Barnyard boots, and they zip on the side, and they're waterproof. They have a nice lug sole. They've got the heel, so my foot's not going to slip through the stirrup. And these double as hiking boots. So I wear these. The only other shoes that I tend to bring with me is a pair of Crocs. And my Crocs double as slippers, and they double as shower shoes if you want to wear shoes in the shower, and they dry really quickly. So I like those a lot. And then this is the jacket that I have worn every time I've gone. I've had this jacket actually for about 6 years. This one happens to be a mountain horse jacket. You just want something waterproof. This one has a hood that will fit over my helmet if it's raining. I'm going to stand up. Again, I'm really tall. This one's a little longer in the back, if you can see. It's got some flaps. You don't have to have a specific riding jacket, but just something that is good for layering. This is not a heavy jacket, just so you know, even though it's cold, because you're dressing in layers, it's not a heavy jacket. I'm going to show you one thing, and it's a trick that Lisa taught me that I really like a lot. And it was when we were riding and I was a little warm, but I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my jacket while I'm riding? I'm a little warm, but I want to be able to put it back on. So you just zip it and you just take the top part of the jacket off and you take your sleeves out like this. You leave the jacket on, you leave it zippered, and you just tie it at the waist. And then if you get cold again, you just put your arms back in. So it's a great hint from Lisa. You want to make sure that you bring...
Carrie Ann, can I stop you for 1 minute? We
Yeah,
have
sure.
a question about your sports bra.
Yes.
For somebody who's a little bigger on the top, do you have a brand that you recommend?
Yeah, She-Fit works really well. She-Fit.
Okay.
Yeah, it zips up the front and it works really well. You can find them pretty much anywhere. You can Google it and you can find it on Amazon if you're an Amazon shopper, or you can find it other places, but it's called She-Fit. Safit. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then I usually bring a couple t-shirts, and I'm going to give a plug to our lovely Saltvik. This is from last year's Dream Tour. This is one of my favorite t-shirts that I wear all the time. Love it. So it's a souvenir. Yeah, you know, I didn't wear mine. It's cold here today. But I usually bring a t-shirt or two, and then you want to bring a bathing suit. If you're going to be at Saltvik for a day or two, there's hot tubs there. Oftentimes you'll get to go to some of the community pools, which are fed by the hot springs. You'll maybe have a chance to go to GOC or Blue Lagoon, but having a bathing suit is really important. Like I said, the Crocs, I love them because double as slippers as well as shower shoes. You could do the same thing with a pair of flip-flops, you know, whatever is easiest for you. We didn't talk about gloves. I usually bring 2 pairs of gloves. I usually bring a lighter pair and a heavier pair. So I have these. Again, these were not expensive because I kind of am hard on gloves. And then this winter, I found these, really like them. They're actually mittens, but they have the pinky and the thumb free, which is nice. They're riding mittens, and I got those on sale. I think they're Horse brand. Really like those a lot. Let's see. Any other questions, Lise?
No, she was just saying thank you for the
Sure.
bra thing.
Sure, absolutely. Lisa will let you know on your particular tour whether or not you're going to have any hut nights. That would be the only night you would really need to have a sleeping bag. But Saltvik also travels with sleeping bags. So if you feel comfortable using theirs, you can. They're washed in between each tour. If you want to bring your own, I highly recommend that you get a compression sleeping bag. Again, this was not expensive. It was like a $20 sleeping bag, but with the compression straps, you can see, look, here's my can of Scotch Guard, and here's the sleeping bag. It's really small, and it's important that you want stuff that can be compact. In terms of other things, I highly recommend a sleeping mask. It's light 23 hours a day in Iceland because of where they are on the equator. And so it doesn't get real dark. Now, most of the places we've stayed at have had really good blinds and shades. So it's really not a problem, but it could still help you get a better night's sleep. So a sleeping mask is great. And this one actually happened to come with earplugs if you happen to have a neighbor next to you like me who snores. Right, Lisa?
Comes in handy.
It does. The other thing that I like is I like to bring some wipes, and I like to bring some extra, just small Ziploc bags. You can put a few wipes in them and put them in your saddle bag. And these wipes are great for various different things. I like to bring some snacks to take with me when we're riding. So I just got this at Costco, some trail mix and some granola bars. Ladies, we're going to be riding, depending on your tour, a few hours. We're just going to stop and find some place to pee if you have to pee. So Lisa and I know both use these panty liners. It's a silly thing, but they're great to have so that You don't have to worry about a ton of toilet paper and all that. You can kind of just drip dry and you're good to go.
Can I add about the bathroom situation?
Sure.
When you stop and we're going to go to the bathroom, and this is why we came up with the panty liner thing. If you want to use tissue, that's fine, but you have to take the tissue back with you. We don't bury it. We don't leave it on the ground. It is beautiful and pristine. We don't leave trash. So if you want tissues, put it back in your pocket, throw it away when you get there.
Yep. So anybody who is a hiker or a camper has heard the term leave no trace.
Yes.
Exact situation. So that's where those small Ziploc bags come in handy. If you want to use tissue, just reuse the small Ziploc bag, dump the tissue out of it and use it over and over again. But I find with the panty liners, I don't need it.
Yes.
I like to have some hand sanitizer in my saddle bag. I'll just put a little bit on when we stop for lunch, rub my hands together. I'm good to go. Speaking of lunch and food in your saddle bag, I always like to bring some powdered electrolyte mix to mix in with my water. This one I got from Amazon. It's called Go Hydrate. Lisa, you've tasted this. This is a strawberry kiwi flavor. I'll put a link to some of this stuff afterwards, later into the comment section. I like to bring my water bottle, but you don't have to. I prefer bringing my water bottle. You don't need to. They have water bottles there. If you're going to be going, not returning for lunch, if you're going to be eating lunch on the ride. Again, for lunch, they have containers. I just prefer to take my own, totally up to you. But this one just has little removable containers that go in. And it has a snap-on lid and it fits perfectly in the saddle bags. Again, I just got this from Amazon. So if anybody wants anything specific that I talked about, links to it, just let me know. And I'll try to remember to put everything that I talked about in the saddle bag. I really like the microfiber towels. They're really great for if we go to the hot tubs or we go to the pool, or if you happen to have a hut night. And I usually have the little microfiber washcloth too. In terms of packing, I shared with Lisa, sorry, I just dropped something. I shared with Lisa ahead of time. This was a tip from a flight attendant. So if you're trying to just do carry-on, and regardless, if you're going to check bags, that's fine. Make sure you have the important things in your carry-on bag. I usually use a backpack. I'm going to reach for it real quick. I usually use a backpack like this. So if you're going to check a bag, that's fine. But especially if you have a connection, I'm lucky enough to have direct flights out of Newark, New Jersey. So I don't ever have a connection. But most people are going to have a connection. And we have had some folks with their luggage being lost. But due to the tip that Lisa shared about putting everything that's important into your carry-on bag, you're okay. So medication, you definitely want that in your carry-on bag. You're going to wear your boots, bring at least one pair of riding pants, bring your gloves, bring a buff, bring some socks, wear your jacket, or the tip from the flight attendant is take a pillowcase. This won't count towards your luggage. You're allowed to have a pillow on the plane. You see people with those blow-up pillows or those pillows that they put around their necks. And you can have a regular pillow. This doesn't count. What you can do is you can take your jacket, like here's my jacket, right? And you could stick your heavy wool sweater inside the jacket, and you can kind of roll it up like this, and you can grab the pillowcase, and you can stick the jacket inside the pillowcase, right? Just stick it in there, and then you don't have bulky things in your luggage, but you can lean on this and use it as a pillow during your flight. So the other thing that I have found, because in addition to traveling to Iceland, I do a lot of other traveling. I'm a roller. So here's a pair of yoga pants. I usually bring like one pair of yoga pants, a pair of sweatpants, and a pair of jeans. I'll wear one of them on the plane, usually the sweatpants or the yoga pants, just for comfort's sake. But if you take them like this, I'll show it like this. If you take them like this and you roll them, you fold them in half and you roll them up into a ball, and you put it in your bag that way, it's amazing how much you can fit into your bag in a small amount of space. Did I forget anything, Lisa?
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay. I think other than that, as I said to Lisa before, I really wanted to share mostly the riding things. Other than that, a lot is going to depend on how many extra days you're going to stay. If this is your first time in Iceland, or you want to see some parts of Iceland that you haven't seen before, and you're going to stay a few extra days on either end of your trip, either before or after your tour, you might want to add a few extra things. But this will definitely get you through if you're only coming in like maybe a day before. But the flights are
Carrie
usually
Ann, I wanted to add, we had mentioned bring your medicines. And you and I have both gotten there and been so thankful that somebody else remembered something we didn't. Of course, if you take daily medicine, bring it. Other things like I'm real prone to, if anybody has a cold, I'm going to get it. So I bring whatever cold medicine I like to get. It is more difficult to go to a drugstore in any other country and get cold medicine, to get, any type of our over-the-counter things are not as readily available. So I know, Carrie Ann, you've gotten there and you're a little more prone to having stomach issues. Mm-hmm. So bring whatever it is. If you normally take Pepto-Bismol or Imodium or something, bring a few of those for the just in case. If you normally maybe you've got a bad back, bring that type thing. And a lot of times we'll get there and maybe I forgot something, you may have it, that kind of thing. But bring those things that you normally would have issues with, and it just makes it a lot easier for you in the end. Even like you're probably going to need to bring some shampoo. I don't have it handy right here, little shampoo bars.
Yes.
Those are very handy. And if you're just doing a carry-on, it's not a liquid. So, and I do recommend, if you can, keep it in your carry-on in your backpack and don't have big suitcases, because you're going to regret it if you're traveling from place to place and you have to, carry your suitcase from here to there. So try and keep it light.
If you are going to check bags, the one thing, so I showed you my backpack, but if you are going to check bags and you want a suitcase, you want something bigger, a soft-sided, this is just a duffel bag. You don't want anything like, big and heavy wheeled luggage. They have the trailer, Saltvik has the trailers. Mm-hmm. That they transport all of the kitchen stuff and all of our stuff. And it's just so much easier to be able to fit those in. It's like the idea of rolling your luggage, right? Those other ones are big, they're heavy. It's just so much easier to have something soft-sided. So I highly recommend just like a duffel bag or something soft-sided instead of a big heavy-sided suitcase.
Exactly. We have a question here for touring before and after. So like if you're staying extra days, are tights acceptable everywhere in Reykjavik in Iceland?
You mean like the yoga pants, the leggings?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Everything's very casual, as Lisa knows. I don't bring anything dressier than either sweatpants, hiking pants, yoga pants, or jeans. And again, these boots that I have, they double as hiking shoes. So I wear these all the time too. I don't bring, 3 different pairs of shoes for different outfits. It's definitely not a fashion show. You may see some younger folks, maybe going out to the clubs in Reykjavik at nighttime, and maybe they might be dressed a little bit differently, but I don't know. I mean, we're there, we're riding. I stay busy during the day. So usually I'm go the whole time, and I'm not staying up going to clubs till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We're doing dinner and maybe getting ice cream afterwards and maybe playing a couple games or something. And then we're hitting the hay because we want to get up early the next morning and enjoy the beauty of Iceland.
Yes, yes. The other thing that I have found, and even with the locals, black is kind of the color. Everybody wears black jackets and pants. And I mean, not that you can't wear other colors, but that's kind of the color of the day. And when you're on tour, it is not a fashion show. And like you've said, and I've said, I wear the same pair of riding pants the whole week long because you are going to be dirty within 5 minutes.
Yep.
So, and the black, of course, it still shows some dirt, but.
And the great thing about about wearing the base layers is what I typically do is there's always a threshold area in all the Icelandic homes. And I know I practice this at my home too. We take our shoes off before we come in the house, but there's a little threshold area or a mudroom area. And so we take our boots off, we take our jackets off, and I even take my riding pants off because I've got the base layers underneath, which is essentially like leggings. And then I'll hang my riding pants up in that area and not even take them into the area that we're sleeping in. And so then the next day I've got the base layers on again. I just pull my riding pants back on and I'm good to go. So, yeah.
Oh, Susan's saying she likes to bring a product called Ride Glide because sometimes she gets a little sore and she puts it on her female areas so that she doesn't get friction. That brings up another question. I hear some riders say, I only wear blue jeans when I ride. Yeah, see, you're saying the same thing I do because you've got those seams.
Yep.
And if they get wet and jeans don't block wind, but you know what? I've had a few people insist on wearing jeans. If you want to wear jeans and that is a deal breaker for you, wear jeans. Nobody cares what you wear. We're just telling you what most of the people find are the best to bring.
So a couple things. Wrangler definitely carries riding jeans that don't have the seams on the inside of the leg. So if you really want to wear jeans and you wear jeans to ride all the time, it's not a bad investment because you'd wear them at home too. Second thing is there was a woman that we rode with one time who insisted on the jeans. She didn't have the ones that did not have the seams on the inside. She got chafed really bad. Thank God, because I'm a hiker too, I did bring moleskin. Moleskin, it's exactly spelled exactly the way it sounds. M-O-L-E, like a mole underground, moleskin. And you can buy it at the pharmacy or at Walmart. And it comes in sheets about maybe 4 or 5 inches by 4 or 5 inches. And if you do get an area that's rubbing, a hot spot, what we usually call a hot spot, you can put the moleskin on there. So if you really want to wear jeans and you want to wear the ones you have from home and they have the seams on the inside, I highly recommend getting yourself some moleskin in case you start getting a hot spot. You can also use it on your feet if you get a hot spot on, your ankle or the inside of your foot, because, some of the tours were in the saddle for many hours during the day.
Yes.
You want to make sure you're comfortable.
Yeah, we've got Patrice here who says that she likes to wear padded bicycle shorts under her riding pants. And that's an option too. I haven't tried that, but that would solve some of the female parts being rubbed.
Yes, it certainly would.
Yeah.
It certainly would.
Yeah, and we have had ladies get there and they're in all the right stuff and you do get a rub mark. And, so having the moleskin or there's some other Band-Aid type products, bring a couple things like that. And then, if you hear somebody else needs something, share.
Speaking of Band-Aids, I also have a very, very small first aid kit that, again, it's usually part of what I pack for my saddlebags, and I just leave it in my saddlebag the whole tour. So it usually has like a couple of Band-Aids in there. I usually do even the butterfly clamps.
Yeah.
and some like antibiotic ointment in a little packet. So I have a big first aid kit at home. I usually just take a few little things and I stick it in this little pouch that I have. It's real small, doesn't take up any space at all. And it's good to have a Band-Aid in case you would need it or somebody else would.
Yeah, that's the mom in us. We're prepared for all things. So I even call my doctor and say I'm going to be out of the country, and she'll give me a prescription for antibiotics. And my theory is if I have it, I won't need it.
Yep.
So, but then again, we're saying some of these things, don't have a huge suitcase because you brought everything you could imagine. Somebody else is going to have it if you forgot it. And we have had maybe once or twice where somebody has either gotten really sick or they threw their back out or something. They can take you to a medical facility if something really goes wrong, but it's very unlikely that you're going to need that. So it's not like you're out there and you're not going to have things if you need it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Let's see, what is this? Can we bring a gel seat saver? Some people do bring the gel seats, or they'll bring those, what are they called? The furry ones that go over the saddle. You can bring those. Please bring a new one. And the reason why, like Carrie Anne had said, anything you're bringing that you have used with a horse must be disinfected. Iceland has 0 horse diseases, and they don't want ours. So if you're bringing your boots, clean them up, spray them down with Lysol. If you're bringing your own helmet, the same thing, spray it down, clean it up. So if you're bringing a seat saver, I would say that has direct contact with a horse. Buy a new one. You can take it home and use it again when you get there. But yes, you can bring those type things.
I think Lisa's like me. She's gone many more times than I have, but I've gotten to the point now where I just have certain stuff that's just Iceland stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Susan's saying, yes, you can bring some of those things like the seat saver. You're going to use the same saddle the entire tour. So you'll be assigned a saddle. You'll be assigned saddlebags on the front. They'll give you rain gear you put on one side. They have the lunch boxes. If you don't get the one like Carrie Anne has, they'll provide that, and a water bottle goes on the other side. Carrie Anne, I usually have like a little zipper, like makeup bag that I'll put chapstick.
Yep. And if you do bring this, there's lots of room in here. So, we talked about the hand sanitizer or the lip stuff or whatever. You can fill all this stuff up so that it's not wasted space too. If you do decide to,
yes,
that's what I do. I stick.
Yeah, that's true. And if you don't want to pack extra snacks, I mean, of course you don't have to, but you can. There is a grocery store there in Reykjavik. You're going to spend the night in Reykjavik before you start your tour. There's grocery stores there. They have just about everything we have at home. So if you forget something, grab it there. People have asked me, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. People have asked me about hair dryers. Some of the locations you may stay in on tour may have hair dryers. Bring a hair dryer, and that's something else here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Bring a hair dryer with you, a little travel hair dryer. And Carrie Anne, we didn't bring this up. You will need an adapter.
Oh, yeah.
Very important. So let's see if I can get it here. European adapter, if you can see here, has the 2 little round tips. And you plug our appliances here, put this, and then that plugs into there. So you can use things. If it is a strong hair dryer, you'll need a converter.
Yes.
Because I may be the only person in the world who has done this. I have blown out the whole power in a hotel. They weren't real happy with me. So either run it on low or bring a converter. You can buy those on Amazon. Simple. So hair dryer, if you really want one, Carrie Ann's lucky. She just goes with wet hair and braids it. It's not fair, but so she gets by with that. If you want a hair dryer, I would bring a small one. Susan's asking, what type of disinfectant do you use for cleaning your boots or your helmet? Or
I use Detrol.
okay,
it's made by the same company. So there's a company called Reckitt Benckiser. They're the manufacturer. They manufacture Lysol, but they also manufacture something called Detrol, and it comes in a liquid form. So you can use that. And then there is, I think it's called Vetricin. I may not be spelling it properly. We'll have to put it in the comments later. But there's another disinfectant too. You want to make sure that it's going to kill everything. Obviously for the obvious reasons, with no horse diseases being in Iceland, we certainly don't want to be the ones bringing something over and making the horses over there sick.
Yes. If you can wash it like your riding pants, it's probably fine. If it can go through the washer, it's probably fine.
And hot water.
With hot water, clean it really well. Something like your boots. I go so many times. I have boots that I can't get in front of the camera, that I only wear in Iceland, so I don't have to worry about it. But if you're bringing your boots, scrub them really well. Spray it with a disinfectant. Even if all you have is Lysol, spray it down real good. Don't take it back to the barn for at least 2 or 3 days, and it should be okay. Don't bring any leather products. Like, you're not going to bring your own saddle. You're not going to bring anything like that. So that's good. What is Susan saying here? For a longer tour, you might want to bring a battery pack for your phone.
Yeah.
If you don't have one, Carrie Ann will loan you hers.
Yeah, so I have a brick, and the brick that I have that Susan's talking about, it lasts like forever. It's an Anika, Anika, and yeah, you can charge multiple devices from the Anika brick that I have. So yeah, Susan, you're right. Having a power brick is really great. And then, you can.
And most of the guest houses will have electricity. Most of them do. Occasionally you'll be at a hut that doesn't have it. So if you're not charged, that's a good thing to have. Let's see. She uses Clorox cleanup. I'm not sure that I'm familiar with that particular product, but Susan uses Clorox cleanup for her disinfecting of her boots and stuff.
Okay. So, yeah, that's bleach. That's going to kill some things. Yeah. I don't know if it's as broad spectrum of a disinfectant as Lysol or Detrol is. But it's definitely going to kill stuff for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay.
I know Lysol was hard to find for a while. It's a lot easier to source it now. But for a period of time, it was like almost impossible to get it.
Yeah, Patrice is asking, do they still require the Vectron S? I think they recommend it, but they don't really require it. This brings up something that I usually tell people. When you arrive in Iceland, okay, you're going to have everything disinfected. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do because, of course, we want to keep things healthy and good. When you go through customs, when you get there, which is a very simple process, they're going to look at your passport and say, why are you here? If you say, I'm here to go on a horseback riding tour, they're going to search your bags to see if you have anything that could be a contaminant. I highly recommend, since you have followed all the rules, just say you're there to sightsee and visit, because sometimes they'll confiscate all of your luggage and send it to the cleaners, and that's just a headache you don't want to have to do. What is she saying here? Oh, her product that she was saying is not really good for leathers. You can also put things in the freezer for a few days, which would probably work as well. Clean it with your Lysol or whatever you've got, and then throw it in the freezer would be another step for disinfecting.
But just be aware, the only leather thing that you should really be bringing is your boots.
Yes. Yes.
Or if you have leather chaps.
Yes.
But again, they're touching a horse. You've got to be really super careful, with those. I personally have fabric chaps too that can be thrown in the washing machine. They're not real leather, and I can throw them in the washing machine and wash them. But just be really careful with anything leather that could potentially bring contaminants over.
It's also a good time to just buy new stuff.
It is.
We have to replace it anyway every so often. So let that be the time that you go shopping and get new boots or new chaps, and
it is.
You can use them when you come home.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking to see if we've missed any comments. I think I've got them all. And then again, you guys can always ask more questions after this video is done, and I'll try to go back on and answer them. I think we've got the majority of it. So we want to pack light, pack with layers. Think of anything that you might need for medication. And it's not a fashion show. You don't need a brand new fabulous outfit for every day. And you're probably going to stand out like a sore thumb if you do.
Yeah.
So
I forgot one thing that I think is the most important thing that you need to bring with you. Mm-hmm. And that is a positive attitude.
Yes.
Going into another country, cultures are a little different. They all speak English wonderfully, so you don't have to worry about a language barrier, but we are visitors in their country. But go with a positive, go with a flow attitude. Don't let little things bother you. Just have fun, enjoy it. You're going to meet the best people. I have made some of the best friends on my riding tours, and Bjartney and family and the whole tour company. They're wonderful people, very caring. They treat you like family. Just come with a wonderful, open attitude, and you're going to have the best time of your life. And I guarantee you're going to want to keep coming back again and again like I do.
Yeah. Yes. And the other thing is, we are horse people, and we all think we know how to do it the best way. You're going to get there, and it's a different culture, and they may catch their horses different than we do. Just soak it in and learn from them and take back what you want to take, and enjoy being there. And if somebody gets on your nerves, laugh it off and just go on. So, okay. Carrie Anne, can you think of anything else?
Not that I can think of, but if anybody has any questions, like you said, put it in the comments. And then I'll try later today to start putting up some links to some of the things that I mentioned that I think people might want to know how to source it. If I miss anything that you're interested in, just put it in the comments and tag me, and I'll put a link up. Okay,
perfect. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm just looking real quick to see if I missed anything else. People are just saying thank you. And yes, they want to go shopping anyway. So sounds good. All right. Well, thanks, Carrie Anne. This is really helpful. And this has been our number one question, is what to pack. And Carrie Anne, we're all going to wish her a great trip, because you are leaving, what, in 2 weeks?
I leave on the 27th. Yep. I'm bringing my daughter this time. Mm-hmm. And we're doing the Saltvik Comfort Tour. So we're doing a couple days before, and we're doing a couple days after to see some other areas of Iceland. But I'm very excited to be sharing this with my daughter. So yeah.
And then because August, this one trip is not enough, you are returning in August and September to do 2 more.
Yes.
Because it's just that good, guys. So again, if you guys are on the fence about picking a tour, 2022 is pretty much booked, but they have started releasing the 2023 dates. And they will go super fast. Diamond Circle sells out super fast. If you're interested, the dates are listed in the info area, not the book now. And you can email them directly or contact me and I'll get you in touch and save your date for 2023. All right, that's you too, Carrie Ann. Pick your date for 2023.
Do I just have to pick one?
Well, just pick the month or the couple months that you're staying. All right, well, have a great trip. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
All righty,
Bye.
bye.